Hey boys, welcome back. So I'm gonna be honest, I was laying in bed a few nights ago trying to think of ideas for videos, and I randomly remembered that one time in like 7th grade, my bus that I was riding home from school just broke down in the middle of the highway. And I was like, hey, maybe that'll be slightly interesting to mention in a video, kind of. And then I started thinking, and I remembered a lot more weird shit that would just always happen when I was riding the bus. Like, the bus breaking down was a regular thing that would just happen. Like, I don't know where the school's budget was at, but it was not in transportation. I mentioned in a video a few years ago that my middle school was like 30 to 45 minutes away from the rest of the school district, and we would have to ride the bus there every day, so there and back, pushing 2 hours at that point. And it's in like the backwoods ass country. School buses are not designed to go on roads like that. It's mostly dirt roads. School buses are huge. If you can believe it, I wasn't riding the short bus. Like these massive ass buses riding on dirt roads. I don't know how we didn't die. Although there was one time that we had what was called a substitute bus, where it was just someone else was driving it, and the bus driver on the substitute bus hit a deer. I don't really have anything else to add. That's just something that stuck with me. Like, that was like 7th grade, and I still very clearly remember that. That was a weird day. The bus was pretty silent for the rest of the ride. If you ever want to know how to make a bus full of middle school students stay quiet, hit a deer. Also, just a quick side story. Also in 7th grade, when we got to the school, for some reason, we had to stay on the bus for like 15 minutes after we got there. I remember why. I don't ask questions. I just go here. In that time, that 15 or so minutes, the kid in the aisle across from me started jacking off. Next story. Jared, Simon, that's toxic. Why would you do such a thing? Also, speaking of my middle school, when I was in 6th grade, I think, there was a massive flood that like destroyed the entire county, and we're like an hour car drive away. And again, we're in these backwoods ass country roads driving on mountains during a flash flood. I genuinely thought we were all gonna die. Imagine being that bus driver, having to drive home on the worst roads possible during a flash flood for 30 to 45 minutes, carrying a bus full of children. How would you do it? That does not take 3 shots to hit a guy standing still. Shut up. See, I'm good, sometimes. When I was in 11th grade, my bus driver missed my stop 4 days in a row, so I just stopped riding the bus. She would look me in the eyes, like she would scan the bus looking for me, make direct eye contact with me through that little mirror that they all look through, and then just floor it past my stop. It's like, okay. Then I started forcing my friends to start driving me home. That was infinitely more enjoyable than riding the bus. When I rode the bus home in 4th grade, my bus driver's name was Ken. And, you know, I don't like to assume things about people. I like to give people the, benefit of the doubt. I'm pretty sure he was at least 107 years old. Every single day while he was driving us home, he would stop at a local daycare. I think it was called Little Lamb Daycare, or something along those lines. And he would park the entire bus. This is about 5 minutes after we all get on the bus and we start driving. He would park the bus in the parking lot of this random daycare, look back at all of us and just scream, "Anyone here for Little Lamb?" And then, regardless of the answer, he would get off the bus and go into the daycare to take a piss. He would leave an entire bus full of children unattended, and again, he's old, so it takes him a while. Someone could have very easily just walked onto the bus and taken us away. Like, he left it with the keys in the ignition, running and everything. We could have just been all stolen. We're children. We're not gonna step up to an adult that's kidnapping us. Good lord, I found where they're all hiding. I mean, that worked. Please excuse the 90-mile-per-hour winds that's going on outside. My entire house just shook. That's great. I still can't believe how many times my bus would just break down in the middle of the highway. Like, it was just a common occurrence that our bus would break down, and then we would just stay on the bus while the driver left to go fix the problem. We just kept getting left unattended in these situations. Oh my god! What am I supposed to do when I turn the corner and there's a tank, a wraith, and a banshee shooting at me? I'd really like some suggestions on how to counter that one. Also, holy shit, I just remembered. Again, in 4th grade, my bus driver would just pick up people walking down the street. Not students, just adults that were walking down the street. One time he picked up this guy that was jogging. He had to be in like his mid-20s. Very Asian. That's unrelated, but I just felt like I should mention it. And Ken pulls up next to him and lets him get on the bus. And he got into a seat next to a student and talked to that student like this was all casual. Can you take a wild guess as to who that student was? Yeah, that was a pretty fun bus trip. You ever been put into a situation that's just so socially awkward and yet there's absolutely no way to get out of it? Ken would just pick up strangers off the side of the road, and then we had to act like it wasn't a weird thing to do. I wonder what Ken's doing these days. I hope he's still around, just chilling. Hopefully he's still not driving the bus. I don't think he's qualified anymore. He barely was when he was driving us.